A husband who is dedicated to his work and providing for his family that he unintentionally neglects his spouse. This compelling depiction raises questions about the balance between career ambition and nurturing one's relationship, emphasizing the emotional impact of being physically present yet emotionally absent. Take a listen.
Up happening, bro. You would think the people pleasing showed up in my marriage in terms of the way that I related to my wife. But because all of the validation was coming from work, then the majority of the people pleasing was catered toward work. And so what she dealt with was not pleasing, it was neglect.
Okay.
I'm always gone.
Okay.
And then when I'm home, I'm always tired. So I'm present, but I'm not present. Right? And I've never seen anybody full of love when they're empty of energy.
Okay.
Think about
Full
that.
of love.
When you're empty of energy.
Oh, but you got nothing to give.
Yeah, you're irritable. You're not as patient. You're not as attentive, etc. Here's what ends up.
And that is from the B-Side app with Pastor Daniel and Minister Lecrae. Welcome back to my Darling Bride podcast, powered by Refuge and Fortress Network. It is yours faithfully and sincerely, Pastor Emmanuel Oludansi. I have with me First Lady O and PK, all the way from Naugatuck, Connecticut, which is our tri-state connect. How y'all doing today?
Hello.
First of all,
everyone.
Naugatuck,
Connecticut.
Hey man, listen, and
Naugatuck.
we be like, what? Where? Who? Where?
It's close to Waterbury.
Naga
but
who?
it's in Naugatuck.
Naga where?
Get it right.
That's why I say tri-state, because we can't even start getting into the details, into the specifics of the thing. And
but if you want to find them, you find them in Naugatuck.
This the far end of the tri-states.
Right.
You drive a couple more minutes out of Naugatuck and you start going into Boston, and we ain't talking tri-state no more. So you on the far end of it. So that's why, simply put, that's our tri-state connect.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me? How we feeling?
We feeling good.
We're feeling tight. We're feeling wonderful.
We're feeling great.
Hey, man, what a word we are living in right now.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on. There's a lot
Right.
going on. But before we get into all that, let me just say, if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and do so now. Also, don't forget to comment down below and share this with somebody that you love. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to 10, it says, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor.
Yes.
If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. The thing about it is, in marriage, it is very essential to maintain a balance between work and personal life.
Yes.
That when one partner overly focuses on work, it can lead to a feeling of neglect. It can lead to a feeling of loneliness or loneliness. If you catch what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
You feel me? Hey.
I missed it.
I'm connected.
I missed it.
You connected.
Can somebody break it down? Because what?
It can also lead to a feeling of emotional distance. It is therefore crucial to remember that providing for a family goes beyond financial support.
Yes.
Can I say that again? Is
That's
that all
key.
right?
Yeah,
Can I say that again? Are you all right with
Louder
that?
for the people in the back.
What I said was, amen.
Amen.
Y'all don't want me to start preaching now. All
Preach
right.
on, Pastor.
That it is crucial to remember that providing for a family goes beyond financial support.
Yes.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Because there is emotional connection. There's the presence, your physical presence,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, that are just as equally important as your financial
Correct.
provision. If you
Yes.
follow what I'm
Right.
saying, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
How can we then ensure that we prioritize our relationship while striving for success in our career? That's a question for the ages.
That's deep.
You follow what I'm saying? I can remember when there was a point in time, I think it was TD Jakes, Bishop Jakes, amen, was on his was on the altar, and he was talking about a conversation he was having with his son. And I think it was a men's conference, and he was saying that, he's glad now that over the years he's been able to figure out a way to be available for his kids. But he's like, he told he had to tell his son or his wife or somebody, right? You can either deal with a broke and available father, or you can deal with a dad that is not available but is always able to provide for you. You got to pick one, because this is a burden on my shoulder as your father. As much as I want to be available for you, as much as I want to play with you and kick you up with you, I have a responsibility to take care of you.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So how can we ensure that we are prioritizing our relationship while striving for success in marriage? And so we're talking today about work-life balance.
Yes.
Is hustle hurting your marriage? Let's talk about it. Yes.
Yeah. So
This-
this
yeah, go ahead.
this actually it's home for me.
Drum roll.
Yeah, it's an important topic that we must. All right, PL talk.
One more time. One more time. One more time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I think we got it.
All right.
Oh
So
my
what did you drink this morning?
Honestly, it's way too early for this.
Because last time I checked, it's still 8 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
over there.
it's early over here, man. I don't know what's going on.
If you gonna have me up this
this
morning,
early?
you're gonna have me up.
You gonna have all of me.
You feel me?
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it hit home for me because especially lately, in the last probably 4 to 6 months, I would say, I've been very, very, very intentional about trying my best to work, to balance things between my regular career to the business, and most importantly, at least for me right now, my table, my ministry. Many times because of those three things, it's very challenging to bring in the balance of trying to spend time with the family, especially weekends, because the way our schedules are, it's like most of the time we only get to see each other on a pass by kind of thing. So the weekend is really when we tend to spend time together. During the week, even though my wife is in another room, I'm mostly in my office trying to work ministry and do business and all that stuff. It's challenging. The reason why I said it hit home for me is because I'm still struggling with it. And sometimes one thing lacks over another. Like when I feel like I'm not spending enough time with my wife, the business might lack a little bit, or the ministry might lack a little bit. But it's like trying to just blend everything. So it's like now, whatever schedule I make for myself every week, if I put on the calendar or on the schedule that I'm going to spend 20 minutes doing this sermon, or just throwing numbers out there, it has to be that 20 minutes. Otherwise, if it overlaps, then the other side of my life gets affected. So I don't think it's just a black thing, or it's just a Christian thing. I think it's just general, even with men and women. I'm sure we all have things in our lives where we're trying to balance and make work at the same time and just get by.
Right.
And it's just a challenge that we need to just we must talk about, at least recognize that it's not a taboo, or it's like a
Right, like
problem.
it
It's just
happens.
something that you have to
It happens. Yeah.
find how to make it work, because it's
Yeah.
important. Every aspect of those things I mentioned, they're very much important,
Yeah.
and none of it can lack. So you just have to figure out a way around it.
Yeah. And being on the side of being the wife in this equation, right? Being the woman in this equation, for at least for the most part, a lot of family structures are structured in the way where it's biblical for the man to go out, provide for his family, and come home. So even the man it's a man speaking in the video, talking about how, he feels like he neglected his wife, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when we're looking for work or we're running our business, we're always throwing the word work-life balance. We want to have work-life balance. We want to
Yep.
have work-life balance, but we never actually materialize that work-life balance in our life. We know we need it, but to materialize it is like, how do we go about it?
Yeah.
And I think for us, and you could chime in too, PY, I think we've come to realize, like, over the years, intertwining our life together helps that situation where I'm helping you with what you're doing, you're helping me with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So therefore, in a way, aside from actually making the time to just forget work and all that stuff and spend time, we actually like involve ourselves in each other's things that we end up spending time together even while doing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you literally took the word out of my mouth. There's a word for that.
What's the word?
And that's what I follow. That's what I live my life by. I don't necessarily chase work-life balance. I chase work-life integration.
Okay.
Right? Work-life integration, because, like PK said, or like in his word, like PK rightfully said, right? That's like his favorite word, like
right,
he rightfully said. So like PK rightfully said.
We'll make you a poster that says rightfully said.
That's a Christmas
That's
gift
a
this year. Rightfully said. But yeah, like PK rightfully said, the responsibility of a man and a woman, especially the responsibility of couples in this new age, because we're not following the traditional way anymore. Life has happened, things have changed a little bit, and we all kind of just gotta
everybody's chiming in.
You feel me? Everybody, all hands on deck. All hands on deck, right? So when you look at that, you come to the realization that there is an imbalance in our lives, and we're not robots, right? It is bound to happen that there will be an imbalance. So what I'm saying is, stop chasing balance. Look for integration. You feel me? Like if I can be like, for example, right? For the past weeks or so, couple weeks or 2-3 weeks or whatever the case may be, right? I've been in a zoned out state of mind where I'm literally jumping from business to ministry to personal time with God to Bible school to like, there's so much that I'm juggling at the same time that I had to be zoned out in order to really make time for those things. You follow what I'm saying? But I also realized that, okay, this week, at least this past week that just left, right? What I've done was brought work to the mist. As you guys are playing, talking, chilling, relaxing, I have my computer with me, but I'm also able to be present as you're talking to me or whatever the case may be, right? That's what I call integration. You're right. That's number one. Number two, mode of integration is that me and you are involved in practically almost the same thing.
Yes.
We work in the same industry.
Yes.
Our businesses, we do it together. Whenever I'm available, we drop off the kids together. I make it a point. Like if I, let's say for example, I'm tired, super tired from last night, but you got to get up and drop off the kids, and I'm home or around at that time, I tell you, make it a point to wake me up. Don't say, oh, let him sleep. He's tired. Wake me up. I want to be there. I want to go with you to drop off those kids, because I'm trying to integrate as much as possible so that you don't notice the imbalance.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't notice
The gap.
the gap.
Yeah, the void.
The void in what area or what, one area
Yeah.
or another, because I'm integrating as much as possible all these things, right? And that's how it kind of works out for me. Now, now I said you don't notice. I think you don't notice. I guess the better question to really ask is, how can because me, if you don't say nothing, I wouldn't know. Because to me, I'm doing what I can to integrate.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? And I believe you're not noticing, but perhaps you are.
No, I do notice.
Oh.
No, when I say I do know.
You know what I'm done here.
When I say I do know, it's like, wait a minute.
I'm done with you.
So everything I've been doing is just. That's not what I meant, Joe. When I say I do know.
Oh my goodness.
Are we going to finish this episode today? What I said when I do notice is I know when, like, for example, you just give an example. You said for the past couple of weeks you've been zoned out.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Okay.
It's not like I'm oblivious to that.
Okay.
I know the reason why. So being the kind of person I am, I don't feel the you don't feel neglected. I don't feel neglected because I know why you're doing it.
Okay.
For every person is different how they take it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we've been rocking with each other for over 13, 14 years now. So I know how you move.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact if you have to do something, there's a reason for it. So what I do is I step up in my own right
way
to make sure that nothing is lacking in every other area. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand and I see it, but I also see the intention of trying to make sure that I don't feel the neglect.
Right. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I also see the work in that as well.
Right. Okay.
And that's why I guess for me, it's a little different because of the way our relationship is. When I say literally, we do everything together. Literally, we do everything together. Like the only time we're apart is when you have to travel for speaking, or you have to go to your office, or you know what I'm saying? Like is when you literally have to physically go somewhere. When you're around, you work, I do my thing, but we're in the same bubble.
The same zone.
It's really hard to feel neglect because you're intentional about it.
So
do you understand what I'm saying? So that's key right there.
That's key.
Being intentional about being present. Right?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in on that a little bit. I mean, we've known each other now, say, going to 10 years now.
Yeah,
or probably more.
Over 10 years.
Yeah,
over 10 years now. So I understand what you guys are saying because I see it, right? Now, but the thing is this: not many people have the how can I put it? Not many people have their lives set up that way, in the sense that it's easy to have that going for you guys. Number one main thing is because you guys work in the same industry, right? And you tend to and everything else in terms of business and in terms of even the work you guys look for is tailored towards making sure that number one, it's remote jobs, and it's you tend to
like the way our life structure
you structure it in that way. So I guess that's one main thing we can take out of this. But one other thing I wanted to point out is the intentionality from it. Even if your life is not structured in that way right now, and I'm talking to people out there, and you find out that, for example, if the husband is working in real estate, and the wife is a nurse, obviously their career doesn't intertwine, right? How can they try to make things still work and still try to uh, find that quality time that they
Mhm.
can be together or try to be together. I think one major thing is to just the thing is what works for me will not work, may or may not work for the
For
other
somebody
person.
else,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like something happened yesterday. Um, I came back from work like a few minutes before midnight, 12 o'clock, and my wife had an order to deliver this afternoon. She didn't work yesterday, but she was up till late, like probably 2 o'clock in the morning or thereabout.
Mhm.
I was tired. I wanted to get home. I had something to do on the computer when I get home, and my plan was that thing shouldn't take more than 20 minutes, and I'll go to sleep. But then when I got back, I noticed she was fully zoned out in what she's doing. Um, but we haven't really, even though she was off yesterday, we haven't really spent time together. So instead of me going to sleep yesterday,
Mhm.
or finish what I'm doing and going upstairs into the bedroom, what I did was go upstairs, get my blanket, and I came to sleep right in,
In the
You
living
in,
slept,
room.
but you
in
slept
the
close.
living room. So I was right there. We spoke. We
Right.
were talking and talking and talking till I fell asleep in the living
Mhm.
room.
Yeah.
Now, going back to what PL said, I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming that she knows my intention at that point in time.
Mhm.
That because I feel more comfortable. I will feel more comfortable going upstairs to go sleep. But obviously, I wanted to spend. I didn't verbally say, "Oh, I want to spend time with you," but I'm hoping she understands that that is my intention. Trying to spend a few minutes with her
Yeah.
before I go to sleep. So it's the small things here and there. You just have to find a way to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where I'm going with that.
And I wanted to also throw that, and you're absolutely right about that because everybody's life is structured differently. So, however is structured is how it would work basically. But I wanted to also say back to this question and kind of explaining how we got here today.
Mhm.
It was an intentional thing from the very beginning,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So it was like, we know this is how we want our life to look like.
Right.
So we had already started putting things in place from the beginning.
Long before.
Because I even remember times when you had like when you had a business that you used to do and it would require you to go on the weekend.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'm not in that
Industry.
industry,
Mhm.
but sometimes I'll go with you
Mhm.
and do it with you because it's part of just spending time together. Because
Mhm.
I know you have to go.
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
at that point in time, we didn't have kids, but
Mhm.
even then is what I'm even saying. So it looks different for everybody
And it looks different at every
at
stage in
every
your life.
stage in
At
your
every
life,
stage.
exactly,
Right.
because
Right.
it looks different for everybody. I think the key part is that intentionality too,
Mhm.
because even like you said, PK, we make it a point that even if we're in our own words during the week, which at some point it's always integrated, like you said,
Mhm.
on the weekend we make it a point to have family time.
Time.
Like it's
Right.
become like a part of us where it's like,
Yeah.
listen,
Right.
whatever work is happening can actually wait.
Yep.
Can't wait.
We can
Right.
actually put it to the side.
Right.
Yep.
Let's spend
Right.
time with each other, especially for the kids, especially when you have kids involved.
Mhm.
Something as little as going to Walmart excites our kids.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if it's like,
Right.
let's take a trip to Walmart.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not like we have anything to
Right.
really do there,
Yeah.
but they're just
Right.
excited, and you start
It,
hearing the I love you,
it,
thank you, daddy, thank you, mommy.
it's
Because
funny.
you're doing something with them.
As funny as little as Elijah is, on days that he's not going to school, he just want to go out. He will be pulling your hands.
These new age kids,
Like,
they
come on,
something else.
So we
let's
outside.
go.
The thing about it is, and like I like what you said, baby, because the thing is, like for me, even though as busy as I am and things like that, um, one of the practical ways that we prioritize quality time together is creating traditions that are unique to our
To our
family.
family. Mm.
One of the tradition that we have in our family is no matter what, every Sunday dinner we eat together
Yes.
on the same table.
Yes.
Like we bring the kids, they
They
sit down,
with us.
they sit with us.
We throw a family movie
You know what I'm
on.
saying? We put on a
eating
family
together.
movie and we're eating together. In fact, my son now has developed this habit of he wants me to feed him.
Yeah.
As tall as he is,
Especially when he's eating.
he's not a baby anymore.
Okay, he's like,
No,
even
it
if
don't
I
matter
try
what
to
it
feed
is.
him,
It
he
don't matter
say
what
no.
it is. Even if you try to feed him,
Yeah.
right, he will say no because he just wants to bond with daddy on that level where it's like, can I watch my tablet while you feed me? Can I watch TV while you feed me?
Yeah.
And whether it's yam and egg, whether it's rice, whatever it is that we're eating,
Yeah.
he just wants
He
to
just
do
likes
that. At first, I'm like, boy, if you
could-
don't get your,
you can eat
you
by
don't-
yourself.
but then I started to realize that not only will he want me to feed him, after he's done, it will come sit on my lap
Sit on your lap.
and
yeah.
won't say nothing.
Yeah.
He just sit on my lap and just watch his tablet or
Yeah.
watch movie and be quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right? Because growing up, I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's something that I have to recognize in my son and in our relationship that I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I
Right.
didn't have this, but I can recognize that this is a bonding time with my son.
Yeah.
Right? But that is from the tradition that we've created that is unique to our family.
Yeah.
So you may have to do that too in your family,
Mhm.
whoever's listening, that we have to intentionally make a point to say, this is a thing that we
That
do
we
as a
do.
family.
Mhm.
Right.
I feel like when you create that, it becomes something that we're looking forward to.
Yes.
That no matter how busy your life gets over the week,
Mhm.
when it's time for that
They feel
thing,
your presence. You're
Yes.
here.
they are looking forward to it and they
Yeah.
know
They're
you're
looking
always
forward
going to
to
be
it.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I wanna,
Absolutely.
I like how you said that. I wanted to bring that up too because my dad,
Mhm.
he continues to sleep in peace.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was, and the reason why I want to bring this up is because there's so many situations in people's life that could determine how their family is structured.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
So my parents always lived in Nigeria. We moved here to America, so we never physically lived with our parents after a while.
Yeah.
So which meant they weren't physically present with us.
Mhm.
But we never not felt their presence, even though they
yeah.
weren't physically with us.
Mhm.
So my mom travels here very much often. So physically she was here.
Yeah.
But my dad came once in a while because of his work.
Mhm.
But one thing he made sure, because up until he passed on,
Mhm.
we always felt his presence in our life.
Somehow.
No matter what.
Mm.
And it wasn't about the physicality of things only. He would come sometimes and we would spend time with him, but it's the constant checking on us, it's the constant communication, even till our older age.
Mhm.
Is the constant involvement in what's going on in our
his life.
too,
Mhm.
in our education. What are you guys studying?
Mhm.
Okay, do this, do that. Like,
Mhm.
it's not just you, because we understand that situations is different, and sometimes a man has to go do what he has
What
to
he gotta
do
do? Yep.
because he needs to provide for his family, and that could mean he's not physically there. We understand that everybody's situation is different.
Mhm.
But being present doesn't only mean the physicalness of it.
Right.
Is what I'm trying
Right.
to point out.
Mhm.
You
Right.
can be present because your kids can understand, okay, daddy
Right.
has to do, like when my husband travels, where's daddy going? Daddy has to travel, he has
Mhm.
to go preach. That's
Mhm.
we use words they can
Mhm.
understand.
Yeah.
So when they see him going, my son will be like, is daddy going to preach? You know, so things that they
It's-
understand.
yeah.
So but it's a matter of when you say involvement in your family's life, being
Mhm.
there, they don't feel the neglect. It's more than just physical, because you can be
Uh,
physically in the house every single day
I'm not
and
doing
not
nothing.
be there
Yeah.
Right.
and not
Right.
be present. You don't know what's
Right.
going on in your kids' life. You don't know
Absolutely.
what they're doing. So it's
Absolutely.
also more than just the physicality of things, being involved,
Absolutely.
knowing what's going on in their life. So regardless of how many times my dad had to travel and be away, it never felt like he wasn't there, because he knew what I was studying. He knew what school I was going to. He knew when I needed something, and he wasn't physically with me.
Mhm.
So being present is more than just physical.
Yeah. Like you
Yes,
don't have to be
yes.
physically present to
Absolutely.
make your presence felt.
Yes. exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everything you guys have mentioned is absolutely correct. And all these little things here and there also builds habits in the lives of the children,
Yep.
Yes.
because they see it and they want to replicate it
Yep.
Yeah.
even in their own family.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned being present. It's even when it comes to and going back to this couple we're talking about, quality time doesn't necessarily have to mean you have to do extravagant dates and stuff like that. Little things here and there, like we've talked about, even praying together, cooking dinner side to side, little things here and there, all amounts to spending quality time with each other, because
No,
it's about
it all amounts to what you said. It all amounts to creating habits that can be
Yes. That can be
replicated
replicated.
in their lives and
Yeah.
their families too.
right.
In other words, what you're saying is so powerful because the one you are doing intentionally, you are creating. The one you're doing unintentionally,
Unintentionally.
you're also creating.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You're creating,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, you're creating something that they will say, okay, that must be the way to do it. Because if my
Exactly.
parent did it that way,
That's
the way-
especially if it's consistent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
How I married somebody that has to travel, and
You don't know.
I don't know. There's so many similarities between my husband and my father,
You
and
didn't get the memo yet. Or
so
maybe you
these
got
things
it.
you pick up without even knowing. Your kids pick up without even knowing. They look to you for the example they want in their life now and in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, if a partner is feeling neglected, how can she communicate that? How can he or she communicate that? Let me. Always got to be clear on that.
Let's balance it out.
Exactly.
2024.
Pause.
I mean, the first thing is actually talking to each other. People feel like communication is like
no
a mystery.
no, it's not that it's a mystery, because what you just said sounds so simple and
Right,
easy,
but a lot of people don't do it.
Really know.
it's really not, because a person can feel like, I know why this is the situation, so I don't want to feel like an ingrate
So I don't want to say
talking
anything.
to you, so I don't want to say anything, because I know why
Right.
you're always gone. It's not like it's not for my benefit,
Yeah.
but how selfish do I look if I'm complaining
Right.
when it is for me that you're always gone?
Right.
That's powerful.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
So
so
So they might
powerful,
feel the need not to
because
say
communication can be not communicating, rather, can be good or bad, in the sense that it can be good in what you're just saying, that the person is trying to be understanding,
yeah,
but but the bad part is not even doing it at all, and not not even doing it at all. But in what you're just saying, our intentions or his intentions are right. Like, how inconsiderate can I be? Batching this man or this woman for not doing this or for not doing that, when I know why this is happening, and it's not for only him, it's for the family, kind of.
exactly.
So to people that think that way, it is best to listen to what PY said earlier. It said it's crucial to remember that providing to the family doesn't go beyond financial support, goes beyond financial support to the family.
Yeah.
It's emotional connection as well. So it's understandable to feel like, I don't want to guilt trip this man or this woman. I don't want him to feel like I'm being an ingrate. It's okay to understand that you feeling neglected is understandable, because other than financial support, you need the emotional support too. That's part of it. So that's why you have to communicate, because that's when relationship starts decaying. You're not talking about it.
Yeah.
You feel
You're
like,
not
I
talking
can't
about
say
it.
anything because I will look like an ingrate, but you're feeling like there's a void somewhere.
But how can you because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because when you look at, for example, just I'm a pastor, I got to bring it up, all right?
It's okay.
Esther, Queen Esther, right?
Right.
When there was a problem, she figured out, she didn't go to the king and say, yo, there's a problem, I need you to fix it.
Yeah.
She enticed the king.
She set it up.
She got his attention, and then he said, come. And she went to him and made a request known. You follow what I'm saying? Essentially what I'm saying is, there may not be any good direct way of communicating your neglect. because it may be mistaken for something else, may be misunderstood. So in the absence of a direct look, you neglected me and I want you to know about it, or no matter how nice you say it sometimes, you're neglecting me and I want you to,
You don't say it like that.
no matter how you say, the fact that you're coming directly saying that can make the man feel like, bro, you acting like I'm out here just acting a fool. No, I'm doing what I'm doing because of you guys, right? But so in the absence of a direct way of communicating that, what else can somebody do to let their spouse or significant other know, while I appreciate everything that you're doing, while I understand, maybe sometimes it's never even about you, it's never for you. Maybe he's in school and it's about him. While I appreciate or understand why this is the situation right now, I would also like you to know that I'm feeling a bit neglected. How can you communicate that?
I mean, you could take initiative as well.
Okay.
I
Take
guess.
initiative.
All right, go ahead.
Take initiative in, for example, if you want to spend quality time together, take initiative where if you have family around, drop off your kids with the family, set up a nice date on the weekend and be like, hey, I did this for us. You want to hang out? You understand what I'm saying? You could take the initiative of doing the thing that you want to see for your spouse without having to say. I mean, you've said it without saying it when you do that. Now, if the spouse catches its knee, it's a different conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it goes both ways, where it's like, and you need to go listen to our video that's coming out soon, I think.
Today?
Where we talked about, next week. Where we talked about open communication and making a safe space for your spouse to be able to come to you about anything.
Open environment, yes.
Exactly. So even in a situation like this where you feel like I'm not doing it just for fun, your spouse should still feel safe enough to tell you, I understand you're busy, but I really miss you and I want us to spend time together.
That's a key word. I miss you.
Yeah. It's just all in the way you provide the information.
It's a key.
You don't say, hello, Ogbeni, you're neglecting me.
No. That's a key word right
like
there. That's a key word right there. If you literally say that key word, like, oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss us. It's like, what you mean you miss us?
Spending time together.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I miss us spending, like, can we just like spending time together? Like, if you just say like that, I feel like at least you begin to scratch the surface. You begin to put it in his mind.
You can directly approach. You can directly say how you feel. It's just how you say it is key.
Yeah, we always say it's not how you. It's not
what you say.
It's not what you say. It's how you say it.
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way in every ramification of life, because I was watching a video on, I think, YouTube or there about an interview. I can't remember the name of the person coordinating the moderator right now, but it was between a husband and a wife as well. And the moderator wanted the lady to express to her husband what the children or what the kid has been doing and how they've been misbehaving. So this lady went up and was like, well, you see, those are your kids, and they're doing this, they're doing that. I can't stand them anymore. They do everything just like you, blah, 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 or whatnot. And then the moderator went, to now stand in a position to kind of like restate that message she's trying to convey to her husband, but in a better way. And then she was like, well, you see, our kids, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, they're doing that. And at this point, I don't think as a woman, I can manage their behaviors anymore. And you just said that same statement or that same message she's trying to portray to her husband in a different way. So the moderator did that part, and even before the moderator finished what she was saying, the lady started crying, because it's like she knew or she understood what the moderator was trying to do, because it's all about the way you present it to the husband. Because even before the moderator finished what she was saying, the husband just kind of was locked in into what she was saying, and she understood what needed to be done. So it's like the way the way you talk, sometimes the way you present something sometimes matters a lot, because even though it's the same message you're passing across, it generates different end results from the way you present it.
Absolutely. And that's why it is important, even for all of us as couples, to to find the key and unique way to speak to our spouses.
Mm.
It's important because, for example, I said, if you say, "Oh, I miss us," "Oh, I miss you," maybe that works for me.
Yeah.
Maybe that works for me.
Yeah.
For somebody else,
It might not. Yeah.
it could be a punch in the chest, like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, no, it could be, it could be rough couples like that, like,
That's true.
we haven't played like this. I'm gonna smack this bottle on your head. I'm gonna
Ah,
smack this pillow on your hey,
smack this bottle.
hey, man. You know what I'm saying? But that will pass the message. You feel
Yeah.
me?
You pass the message, all right?
All right.
That's a direct approach.
Both of them will land in the ER.
That's a direct approach.
You know, or you can play with, like you just gotta know.
Play with what? Play with what?
You can play with their beard. You can play with their chest. You can play with their head. You can rub their head, rub their back.
Some people were trying to go a different route of ways.
No,
Play with what? What
whatever.
did you want him to say? Play with what?
Listen, I don't know.
Hey, man. It's a marriage podcast. What you think?
All right now. I still have to maintain order here. Okay?
You didn't know that when you started this.
Oh, why you made that one statement?
Decorum in the house.
Decorum in the house.
But you gotta find whatever way communicates best with your significant other
Right.
to make your point across. Because again, communication is not just in talking.
No.
There are multiple ways of communicating a point.
Yes.
As long as your point is gotten across,
Yeah.
that's all that really matters. But as we reflect on this issue, I want us to remember what it says in Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. It says, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of the others.
Mm.
And this scripture is really serving to remind us that, love and partnership requires us to be attentive to one another's need,
Yes.
and not just our own ambitions,
Yes.
right? And whether that ambition is a shared ambition or individual ambition, there are needs that we must be attentive to. Otherwise, what's the point of marriage?
Yeah.
What's the point of marriage?
Yeah. What's the point of companionship?
What's the point of companionship? If I'm with you, but I feel like I'm not.
I'm alone. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense, right? So we have to the whole point of marriage is so that we can prioritize somebody else other than ourselves, so that we can serve somebody other than ourselves, right? There's that part cannot be overlooked simply because you have ambition.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not a box that you're checking in to say, well,
I
I'm
got
married,
that.
got that
Cool.
out the way, let me move on with my life now. No.
Exactly. That's
And then a
key.
lot of people have that
They do that.
approach to marriage.
Yeah.
Additionally, in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, chapter 13, verse 4-5, it reminds us that love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, and it's not self seeking. Fostering this kind of love involves being present and engaged with our spouses. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So now, let me ask this question before we go, because our time is fast spent now. What role does emotional intimacy play in a healthy marriage? I feel like we've talked about this, but what role does emotional intimacy play in a marriage, in a healthy marriage?
Well, emotional intimacy is the glue that holds a marriage together, in my opinion. So it's about you have it's about sharing your thoughts and your fears and your dreams together. When you build emotional intimacy, you're not just married on the paper, you're deeply connected. So without it, a marriage can feel empty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if everything looks fine on the outside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so, right.
Yeah, like we said, man, because remember we said it is crucial to remember that providing for a family goes beyond
Beyond
financial
Beyond the
support,
exactly.
financial
that
part.
emotional
Food is
connection
key.
and
Right.
presence, your physical presence are
Yeah,
all
it's
equally
needed.
as important. But
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, 1 Corinthians 13, 4-5 really just reminds us that love is kind, love is patient, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it's not proud, it doesn't dishonor, and it's not self-seeking. I think that's the
Yes.
key word right there.
Mhm,
It's not
mhm,
self-seeking,
Yeah.
right?
mhm.
It prioritizes somebody else
Mm-hmm.
over itself. It's sacrificial, right? And I feel like if we all maintain a sacrificial mindset towards one another,
Right.
we will always feel that connection. Like
True.
if I'm doing something for the family, that it's because of the love that I have for the
For
family.
the
correct.
family.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And if the other spouse understands that too, he or she would know that it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
And what I can do now is support however way I can to not let there be a void.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
and whatever you have to do, it could also be viewed as a sacrifice too, even on the spouse point that right now I'm going to sacrifice my emotional need, you
Right.
could say, maybe for a month, for a week, for
For
whatever,
this
for this
specific
specific
situation.
situation, right? And say, usually he would have called me, usually he would have bought me rose, he would have
Right.
taken me out, we would have done A, B, C, and D, but I know where we're at right now, so I'm gonna sacrifice that need for
Knowing
now,
that it's temporary.
knowing that it's temporary.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
that's the important part.
Right.
Knowing that it's temporary.
Knowing that's temporary.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, but fostering this kind of love, it involves being present and involves being engaged with our spouses.
Yes.
And like we've rightfully said, presence is not equal
It's
to
not only
physicality.
physical. Yes.
Mhm.
I
If
rest
you're
my
not
case.
taking anything home today, take that.
Take that part of
Take that part home.
Yep.
All
Pocket it.
right. All right. Thank you very much, PY, for that insightful conclusion. Our news coverage for this week, the U.S. Department of Labor has announced a new initiative aimed at promoting workplace flexibility and mental health resources for employees. This program encourages organizations to implement practices that support both productivity and employee well-being, recognizing the importance of work-life balance and all that. So for more information on this initiative, please visit the Department of Labor's website at www.dol.gov.
Yeah.
That's www.dol.gov.
That's important. If the person that's working is not so stressed at work, it's not so, discombobulated at work, they're not going to bring it home. So that helps
Right.
as well
Yeah.
when it
Right.
comes to the home part. Okay, thank you so much for that information. So as we get ready to enjoy our weekend, I love the weekends. I don't know if you guys know this. I love me some weekends. Yes, as we get ready to enjoy our weekends, I know I will. Here is our MDB quote of the week. The greatest gift you can give someone is your time.
Done.
The greatest gift you can give someone is your
Bam.
time. We're still looking for who wrote that quote.
It might have been me. It might, because I preached on that. The
You-
gift of presence.
You think it's you?
the gift of presence.
Okay, I should.
It's a gift.
I take that back. Written by PY. The greatest gift you can
The
give
greatest
someone.
gift you can give
is
someone is
your
your time. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You think it's money? You think it's your time.
Yes.
And it's not just presence, is the memories
Yes.
that you create with them,
With them,
that they create
exactly,
with you.
exactly.
That every time you come around, they be like,
It's not
"Oh,
just
it's
we're
always
just
vibes
sitting
with this
together.
dude, man."
We're just sitting together in one room
Yeah.
and then we're not paying attention to each other.
Yeah.
That's not your time.
Yeah, no,
You
it's
just
it's
there.
your
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah.
Like I feel that you're here.
Yeah.
Like I know every time I go to Connecticut, PK be feeling that PY is in
PY
town.
is, yeah.
PY is in town.
No, every time
You
you go
know
to
what?
Bangkok,
I
Oh.
guess it's time to go.
It's time.
We've stayed too
Oh,
long
my
on this one.
oh my gosh.
All right. So I hope we've shared a tip or two to help solidify your kingdom union, not only with yourself, but also with others. And most importantly, with God,
yes.
on today.
Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and comment down below.
And until next time, build a light.
Be the soul.
And remember,
all
things
things
are
are
possible.
possible if you believe.
believe.